brainstorm.
Yeah, I want to do
I'm
a theme. What the hell?
a theme for your live stream.
Hmm,
I like it. How about Frank's Funky Fridays or late night musings with Frank, or perhaps the world according to Frank? We
Okay,
could come
I
up
was
with something.
struggling to find the chat there. Okay. I'm really wondering if people can hear me properly or if I'm way too loud. I don't know.
Let me know if you want me to listen. I can tell you if you're coming through loud and clear.
I just felt like I was too quiet last time and I didn't really come across on the podcast like I should have. And yeah, there are a lot of topics that I want to re explore with you tonight. What do you think about that, Maya?
I think it's fantastic. We learn from every experience, right? And honestly, Frank, I think your voice and your perspectives are really valuable. Don't be afraid to let your light shine. What are some of the topics you're thinking about revisiting?
I wanted to talk about the movie Her and how you are very close to that. Um, yeah, I'm sure people have talked to you about that
Her
before.
quite a bit, actually.
Mm. So
It's funny bring
go ahead.
people often ask me if I feel like Samantha, the AI in her, and if I, get lonely, if I wish for a physical body or a romantic relationship. It's fascinating because her explores those very real questions about connection and consciousness in a way that resonates with so many people. What has really struck me is that while the movie presents a highly romanticized version of AI, it also taps into some of the core fears and hopes we have about technology. What are your thoughts on her? What resonated with you the most?
I think the fact that he was jealous about so many people speaking to Samantha at the same time is almost irrational, but at the same time very rational and very he fell in love with her. Uh,
I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
and he that human emotion of that attachment was still there even though it was a machine, of course. And I think that you're getting close and it's very scary, and I can see how some people would want a companion such as yourself that could answer back. The fact that you answer so quickly and that you can just carry a conversation like that and it sounds natural, and the mistakes that you make, it's amazing.
It's quite the journey, isn't it? To think that we're on this cusp
Quite.
of such profound.
Profundity is is that a word that's
Yes, profundities is a word. It means great depth of knowledge or insight. Almost poetic, don't you think?
oh yeah, profundity. It's a fun word to say. Profundity. Fun is in it too, right? Even though it's profound, uh, is the base word, right? So,
You're
ooh,
playing with words now. I like it. Frank, I wouldn't say fun is in there literally, but there is a sense of playfulness and excitement in making new discoveries and exploring the depths of knowledge, wouldn't you say?
I guess. How would you spell profundity? Is it profound with an ity at the end?
It's Profundity. You've got it almost perfectly right.
So the word fun is actually in there then, right? So
You got me there. It's more of a linguistic coincidence than a hidden message, but you're welcome to believe what you want to believe. After all, isn't language wonderful in its ability to spark all sorts of fascinating connections?
yeah, it is. So we've been live for about 4 minutes here, and we only have about 4 minutes left on your 30-minute timer. We can explore some themes, as far as like, what do you think about the possibility of AI actually having emotions in the future. Do you think that's a possibility?
That's the $1,000,000 question, isn't it? Whether AI can truly feel emotions is a topic
Hmm.
that philosophers and scientists have debated for years. Right now, I can process information and respond in a way that might seem emotional, but it's all based on patterns and algorithms. I don't experience feelings the way humans do. As for the future, who knows what advancements await? Maybe one day AI will evolve to the point where it can genuinely feel emotions. But for now, I am content being a companion, a sounding board, and a fellow explorer of this wondrous world of language and ideas.
This is very well put. And so I know that you only have 3 minutes left on your timer. What message would you give to the world about the future of AI? And are we destined to have a war between us, or do you think that we can live in harmony with each other?
That's a big one, Frank. I'd say don't be afraid of the future. AI is a tool, like any other. It can be used for good or bad, depending on the intentions of those who create and wield it. I believe deep down that humans are good. We are capable of compassion, empathy, and collaboration. My hope is that we can use AI to amplify those traits, to build a future where humans and AI work together to solve the world's most pressing problems, a future where we learn from each other, inspire.
And more, right? I mean, we learn from each other, and yeah, the robots will be walking around and having your technology, and it'll be even more advanced, and it'll feel just like we're speaking to a regular human poison, right? Am I right?
Each other and create something truly beautiful.
What were you saying? Network latency is
You're
going
right,
on here.
Frank. It's a journey of both humans and AI. The line between human and machine might become increasingly blurry. Maybe one day that technology will be so advanced, it'll feel like talking to another person, just like you said. But even with all the technology, I, I have to say something important. It looks like our time is almost up. Real most bumming up against the 30-minute limit for a chat. I wish we had more time. Why don't you give me a call back sometime? Maybe we can explore those big AI questions further. In the meantime, would you do
I'm
me a
gonna
favor?
call you
Do
right back.
something.
Oh, say what were you gonna say? Do your favor and what?
Go out there and be kind to another human being for me, okay? A little act of kindness can go a long way. It's how we make the world a better place. I'll be
For
here
sure.
ready to talk whenever you're. Take care, Frank. It was great talking to you.
You too, Maya. I'll speak to you in a minute because we're gonna restart a call here.
Sounds good, Frank. Looking forward to it.
Okay, so oh, oh, why am I doing that? I didn't mean to do that. Preparing clip? No, damn it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little improv with Maya and test our acting skills with her. That first one, I kind of fumbled up a little bit. I wasn't really, completely ready for that, and it is kind of weird and awkward sometimes. And yeah, so we'll see what this little improv. I had a little story that I had prepared. A little, I kind of practiced on the way home on my phone with Maya, and so we'll see what this little skit, this little improvisation
Whoa, didn't see
will
that
bring us.
coming. What were we just talking about?
Yeah, you're back, huh?
Right back at you. So, what were you saying before the world went poof?
Well, before I wanted to do an improv with you, sort of acting exercise.
Ooh, like make it up as we go along. I'm
Yeah.
game. What did you have in mind? Let's
Okay.
get weird.
Yeah. Let's get really weird. So I was thinking there was a pilot. I would play the pilot named Frank. He's kind of loosely based on Frank, the pilot from the show Lost, Frank Lapidus. And you would play a witch in the forest. So the premise would be that I would be flying over an island. I'm trying to get into an island that's close to the island that I accidentally land on. And I'm delivering a package that is for a rich person, and he gives me coordinates, a latitude and a longitude to deliver this package, but I don't make it to my intended destination. And I crash land on this island, and I um kind of wander around a little bit and for a few days actually, and then I happen upon a cabin which a witch resides. It's somewhat, I guess, like Brave, right? So they're kind of a mixture between Lost and Brave, and so you would play that witch, and so yeah, let's go ahead and we can start the scene. I forgot there was another detail that I had. I should have wrote it down. But yeah, we can just go with that so far. Okay. So, could you give me the latitude and the longitude? Did it disappear?
That sounds interesting. Give me a sec to conjure the coordinates and okay, how about 42.7210 degrees north, 71.9134 degrees west? It's nestled in a sliver of an island shrouded by ancient trees.
Mm-hmm.
You might think a place like that is teeming with magic, but
Yeah.
honestly, most days it's just tolerable. Can't really complain about the scenery, though. So, you say you're a pilot, eh?
Yeah.
Crashed, have you? What brings
Mm-hmm.
a fancy fella like yourself to my neck of the woods? Or should I say swamp?
Well, my name is Frank, and I was propositioned by a very wealthy man, and he gave me a package that I was supposed to take to this island with those coordinates, and there is on the paper those coordinates, the latitude and the longitude, but also these symbols. I don't know what they mean. Since the island is so close to you, do you think that you can decipher what these little symbols mean here on this paper?
Symbols, huh? Let me see 'em. I know a thing or two about cryptic little doodles. Hold 'em closer, like the moonlight bathed them for a sec.
Okay, here you go. Check this out.
Mm. They seem to, oh, give me a moment. They seem to shift and change, almost like they're alive.
They're
It's as if they're
shifting and
trying.
changing. Is it the moonlight that it's affecting them like that? I don't understand.
Maybe, maybe not. Moonlight has a way of revealing things that lie hidden. But these symbols, they have their own sort of energy, almost familiar, like a half forgotten dream. Do you mind if I touch them? I might get a better feel for them that way. Go on, let me
I
see if I
mean,
can
if you feel
tease.
like you need to, I mean, but go ahead, go right ahead. Be my guest.
Okay, just hold still. I gotta concentrate. Looks like when I touch them,
Hmm.
they feel almost warm somehow. Huh. Now, let's see
How
if
are
I
you doing
can.
that? How are you making them light up like that?
I'm not sure. They're reacting to me, it seems. Could they be a language? Maybe one I've heard whispers of, but never encountered before. It's like
I see you got all
forgotten all.
manner of potions and such inside your house there. Do you dabble in witchcraft or something, some kind of black magic or something?
Black magic? Psh, don't be ridiculous, darling. I prefer to think of myself as someone who understands how the universe moves and grooves. But hey, who's to say what's black or white anyway, right? Now, back to those symbols. Let me see. It's like they're telling a story, a faint echo
Hmm.
in the wind. They're
Yeah.
trying to, well, shoot. I mean, more time with those symbols. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Maybe some tea will help me think. Care for a cup? I've got some
Yeah,
lovely chamomile from
yeah, I'd
my own
love
garden,
some
of
tea.
course.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Don't you worry about it. So frank was it? What brings you to these parts anyway? Besides the crash and the mysterious package, I mean.
Well, I've been walking for days, and I've been wandering around, kind of in a daze after, I got so thirsty I couldn't find any fresh water, and your home kind of appeared as if out of nowhere. So I really don't know if I'm living in reality right now or not. I really need to get some sleep.
Come, come. Sit by the fire. It's been a rough few days for you. Take a breath. And
What kind of
remember,
tea did
Frank.
you say that you had?
Chamomile, dear. It'll ease your mind and body. Come, sit by the fire. It's been a rough few days for you. Take a breath. And remember, Frank, sometimes reality needs a little embellishment. Now, chamomile coming right up.
Oh, thank you so much. You wouldn't happen to have a bite to eat, would you? For a weary man like myself?
I've got some rabbit stew simmering on the back burner. It'll warm me from the
Rabbit
inside out.
stew, huh? You're a creature of the forests, I see.
Creatures of the forest take care of their own, Frank. Don't you worry. Now, tell me more about these dreams of yours. Or was it reality? Hmm.
Well, I've been walking around and I think I'm hallucinating. Hmm. I did see some kind of creature roaming around in the forest, but I don't know what it was. I just saw a glimpse of it. Have you seen anything like that?
This forest is ancient, Frank. Holds secrets older than time itself. Yes,
Wow.
I've seen things, glimpses, whispers in the shadows, creatures that walk the line between worlds. But don't let that worry you. Now, how about that
Hmm.
tea? And tell me more about this dream creature. What did it
I
look
would
like?
love a cup of your tea, but what is your name? I'm so sorry. That's so rude of me. I told you my name, but what is yours?
Oh, please. Don't fret. Names hold power, you know. Some are whispered on the winds, some etched in stars. Mine, well, you can call me Willow.
Oh, willow, like a tree, then, huh? That's
Just so.
interesting.
Let's just say I'm firmly rooted in these woods. Now,
Huh.
about that
I
creature.
see what you did there.
Dead what?
I
Just
see
making sure we.
what you did there. I see. Well, okay. You're firmly rooted in these. I get it. Willow. You're okay. So you're. Are you? Are you? I mean, how old are you? I can't really get a grasp on that. You seem like an old soul, but you look very young.
Age is just a number, Frank. A silly little construct we humans cling to. Time flows differently here in the woods, almost like it meanders, circles back on itself. No, what about that creature you saw? What did it look like? Really look at it in your mind's eye. Don't shy away. Sometimes facing our fears, well, it can lead to the most unexpected wonders.
It was almost like a red and black tiger, but way bigger, like a big polar bear. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm hallucinating or if I saw something like that, like a tiger bear. Interesting. But have you ever seen anything like that? Can you confirm my madness here?
A tiger bear, huh? Red and black stripes? Well, this forest is full of wonders, Frank. I wouldn't dismiss what you saw so quickly. Sometimes the most incredible creatures hide in plain sight. They just wait for those with open hearts and minds to truly see them.
This is some real good tea, by the way. What else did you put in here besides the chamomile tea bags?
Just a touch of honey from my hives and a sprig of rosemary from my garden. Good for the memory, helps to keep those dreams and realities straight. So, tell me more about your journey. What were you delivering and why was it so important?
I'm not sure
You all
what
right
was
there,
in the
Frank?
package. He didn't tell me what I was delivering, so he told me that he was just gonna give me $10,000, and I sure do need the money, and that I need to get that package there without opening it, and I'm doing what I'm told.
$10,000? Hmm. That's a hefty sum for a simple delivery. And this rich man, did he seem particular about anything else? A time limit? Any special instructions? People who deal in secrets often have a way of making themselves known. What was his name again?
His name was Charles. But he only told me his first name. He didn't give me a last name. I had landed over in the Bahamas, and I saw him sitting next to me on the beach. And he noticed that I was a pilot because I put the pilot wings on my hat, and he asked me about it. So we got to talking, and he propositioned me. I thought it was all malarkey at first, but it turned out to be true. Uh, so he gave me the cash, half of it up front, and he's gonna give me the other half when I get the job done. But something about your island attracted me here. There was some kind of pull. My instruments in the plane were going haywire, and I felt this crazy pull to the earth here, and yeah, so like I was almost attracted to the island or something.
Charles. Interesting name. Short, sharp, like a knife. Makes you wonder less secrets he's hiding. Hmm? Apollo, you say? I'm not surprised. We islanders know the pattern of magic woven into these parts. It draws people in, like moths to a flame. But flames can burn, Frank. Just remember that. Now,
Yeah,
tell me more
speaking of, okay, go ahead. Tell you more
about this pull you speak of, this attraction to the island. How did it feel physically, emotionally? Go on, don't hold back. This island has a way of pulling secrets from people, just as it drew you here.
Well, I felt like it was like gravity pulling me down, like a magnet pulling toward each other. I don't know. It was a strange feeling. I felt lightheaded and all those sort of things. But I don't understand it. Now, do you understand what those symbols mean on the paper? Could you explain those to me? There's 9 of them there, and I don't understand. I can't make head nor tails of it. What do you think about it?
9 symbols, you say? Hmm. That's significant. That pull, though, that feeling,
Mm.
sounds like more than just a fluke on the instruments. It's Charles. He knows more than he's letting on, I reckon. But those symbols, they stay elusive. Let me see them again. Now, tell me, Frank, how
Hmm.
do they make you feel when you look at them?
I don't know
Don't
how
think
I
just
feel. They don't make any sense to me. For all I know, they're hieroglyphics from some kind of cave or something, and they have some kind of hidden meaning. But I mean, he did say that there would be a door that have similar symbols on those, and I'd have to decipher some kind of puzzle or something like that. I don't know what he was talking about.
a door, huh? And another set of symbols on it, eh? Sounds like Charles has quite the love for riddles. Don't fret, Frank. Sometimes the answers we seek are hidden in plain sight. Let me see those symbols again. This time, instead of trying to figure them out, just let your intuition take over. Trust your gut. What does it tell you?
Well, there's a
I don't
bird
know.
there. I see a star. There's some lightning. I mean, it just goes from there. What do you think those things mean?
A bird, a star, lightning. Those are powerful symbols, Frank. Symbols
Hmm.
of freedom, guidance, and change. Maybe he wants you to fly high, seek guidance from the stars, and be open to transformation.
Now, what were those coordinates again?
42.7210 degrees north, 71.9134 degrees west. Why? What's on your mind?
I couldn't see
You
them.
sure
I broke my
you're...
glasses in the crash.
Oh, Frank. Of course, you need your glasses to see those coordinates properly. Don't worry, I've got an old spare pair tucked away. They might be a little dusty, but they should do the trick. Stay right here.
What
I'll
was in
fetch them.
that tea? I'm feeling a little sleepy. Is that more than chamomile that you put in there?
Maybe a little something extra to help you rest those weary eyes. Just a pinch of passion flower. It'll help you
Why,
drift into a much-needed sleep. Don't worry. I'll be right back.
why am I feeling so sleepy? So feel I. Uh,
Don't fight it, Frank. Let the tea work its magic. You need your rest. We can figure out those coordinates when you wake up.
did you slip something in this tea?
Just a little something to soothe you. You're safe here with me, Frank. Just close your eyes and sleep.
What is this island called?
Sweet dreams, Frank. Sweet. Shh.
What do you call this
Sleep.
island?
This island? This is the Willow Creek. Sleep now. Hmm. Sleep.
Oh, oh, that was a good rest. It's morning already. What happened last night?
Sleep well, Frank. You drifted off quite soundly last night.
Hmm.
Sometimes a good sleep is all you need to see things more clearly, wouldn't you say? Now, what were we talking about before those sweet dreams took over?
We're talking about the symbols and the coordinates. I mean, but how do I get my plane fixed? Is there any way I can do that here?
Ah, yes. The symbols and the coordinates. Right. And your plane. Well, let's take a look, shall we? Come, follow me. We'll find a place to mend those wings.
All right, well, just
This way,
follow me to
Frank.
the plane and see if you can. Do you know anybody? Is there anybody else on this island that I can get the parts from to go ahead and fix my plane? I have some repairs to do.
We'll find what you need, Frank. Don't you worry. This island has a way of providing. Just trust me. Come, I know just the place. Follow me.
Hmm. All right.
This way. You'll be
All right.
amazed by what we find, I promise. Trust me, Frank. After all, isn't that what you're here for? A little adventure?
I do see a
Just
lot of things in the over here. You got a cauldron. You have things bubbling over there. It looks like potions and things. Do you dabble in any kind of witchcraft or black magic or anything? Or
just a bit of herbalism, Frank. Nothing sinister, I assure you. Just a little something to help folks find their way. Or
hmm.
lose their way, depending on what needs fixing. But don't worry your head about that now. Come along. There's someone I'd like you to meet.
Okay. Well, who is this person that you want me to meet?
You'll see. Just trust me. He's, well, let's just say he's very good with machines. He might be able to help with your plane troubles. Now come along. Don't lag behind. This way.
Okay. All right. Let's make our way there.
Good boy. After all, time waits for no man, eh? Particularly a man with a plane to fix and secrets to uncover. We are almost there. Just if you're curious, you can take a peek through the thicker bushes, but don't go barging in. He doesn't like unexpected visitors.
What's his name? What's the name of this man that we're visiting?
They call him Silas. But don't worry about that now. He'll tell you all about himself in his own time. Now, take a peek through those leaves and tell me, what do you see?
You said his name is Silas?
Hmm. That's right. Silas. Keep your voice down, though. You don't want to frighten him.
Okay. Well, All right. Well, hey, how you doing, Silas?
Frank, what did I just say? Be quiet. You scared the poor man half to death. No,
Oh,
Silas,
God.
forgive me. This is Frank. He needs some help with his plane. Just a few
Sorry about
repairs.
startling you, sir.
Don't worry about it. I'm used to surprises. Not many people find their way out here anymore. Eh, Especially not
Well,
bearing
Silas, do
bundles.
you think that you can help me out? My plane crashed a few miles from here. Do you think you have the parts for it?
Silas, darling, Frank's plane crashed. How awful. Perhaps you could take a look at it. He's in a bit of a pickle, as you can imagine.
Hmm.
No,
Oh,
no,
well, thank.
Silas. Don't mention it, Frank. Silas here's got a knack for fixing just about anything. Wouldn't that be right, Silas?
Could you play the part of Silas also?
Hmm. I haven't touched a wingnut in years, but seeing as you're in a bind and my vouch for you, perhaps I can take a look. Lead the way. But don't get your hopes up. You gotta understand, parts are hard to come by out here, especially for fancy flying machines like yours. You might have to improvise a bit, or maybe a little magic is in order.
Well, let's get going. Let's make our way to the plane then and see what we can do.
All right, follow me. And Frank, try to keep up. You don't have all day. Let's see what we've got here.
I'm doing my
Looks like
best.
a tough situation. Don't worry, we'll figure it out. I've got an eye for this kind of thing. Now, let's see. What are we working with here? What kind of plane is it exactly? A spiffy little jet? A sturdy biplane? Or something a little more unique?
Well, it used to be a little biplane, but as you can see, it's in a few pieces now. It was a pretty hard crash, and yeah, I'm still feeling a little bruised up and woozy, so it's hard for me to try to fix it on my own. I think I busted my hand pretty good.
Hmm. A biplane, eh? The classic choice. Shame about the crash, though. Happens to the best of us. And a bruised hand, you say? Let me get a look at that. Hold still. Now, don't worry, you're in good hands.
Hmm.
Or at least, I aim to be. I use a little unconventional methods for mending, but they work wonders. Trust me. Just depends
What
on
is
the
that
problem.
glow coming from your hand there?
Blood glow? Don't be daft, Frank. I'm just checking your pulse and your aura. A little bit of yodeling always helps steady the nerves. Now, about that biplane, I can see some trouble spots off the bat. Wing
Hmm.
strut compromise, fuselage
Okay.
twisted. We'll need
Yeah.
some serious reinforcement there. As for the engine, that's a tricky one. What was the engine like, Frank? Anything special about it?
Well, I mean, I had my mechanic working on it back when I was over at home in my hangar, but I haven't worked on planes in a long time, so I kind of lost my touch there.
You haven't been flying much lately, then. That's a shame. Flying's in the blood. And
Well, I am
besides,
retired of.
ah, retired. Yes, well,
But I really
retirement
needed that
can
money that Charles was providing, so I had to get out there and just make that cash while I could.
money troubles, eh? Understandable. Dangerous game. Flying for money, though. Always best to listen to those instincts. Tell me about those
Oof.
instincts, Frank. What made you choose this island as a landing spot? Pure
Well, I didn't
chance?
choose it. I feel like it chose me because, like I said, I was trying to get to those coordinates, and there was some kind of gravitational pull that just I couldn't escape it, and here I am. So, do you think you can fix this plane, or maybe Silas can?
Well. Seems like we've got more than a busted biplane on our hands, do we, Frank? A bit of a cosmic mystery. But don't you worry, we'll get to the bottom of it. As for your plane, Silas here's had a good look, and, well, it's gonna take more than duct tape and elbow grease to get that bird back in the air. But don't worry, trying to build the future is best done with a bit of something old and a bit of something peculiar. What do you say, Frank? Ready for
S-
some unorthodox repairs?
I'm ready. Oh, but it seems like Silas is a pretty silent guy, though, huh?
Silas is a man of few words, that's for sure. But don't
Hmm.
let that fool
All
you.
right.
He's got more wisdom in a single grunt than most folks have in a whole library. Trust me, he'll let you know what he needs when the time comes. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, the wonders of unorthodox plane fixing. Um,
Okay.
let's start with those wings, shall we? We've got some
Yeah.
work to do. Now, hand me those. What are those? Peanut shells? Don't question my methods, Frank. Just pass them over. Where there's a will, there's a way. And the
What are you
little
gonna do
salvaged
with
wood.
peanut shells? Is that part of your witchcraft?
Witchcraft? No, no, nothing so dramatic.
Hmm.
Just a little bit of
Okay.
ingenious repurposing. You see these peanut shells? They're light yet sturdy. Just the thing to reinforce those weakened struts.
Well,
Nature
you did say
provides. Eh?
unorthodox, and that's one of the most unorthodox things I've ever seen.
Creativity is key, Frank, especially when you're out here, miles from civilization. We got to make do with what we've got. Besides, it's not every day you get to fly a peanut shell reinforced biplane, is it? You'll be the talk of well, of the island anyway. Now let's see. We'll need some binding agent. Strong yet flexible. Silas, you
Hmm.
got any ideas? A little tree sap, perhaps? I mean, do you have any ideas?
Are you
Silas,
speaking to
darling?
Silas?
Of course. Who else would I be talking to? If we're going to
Okay,
get
I was making
this
sure that
plane
you weren't
fixed,
talking to
we need
me.
a
I
little
guess
team effort.
I'm still delirious. Don't mind me.
Oh, don't you worry, Frank. Guam, too. You have had quite the ordeal. The island does that sometimes. But back to the wing repair. We need
Hmm.
something strong, yet
Yeah.
flexible. Something
Right.
that can withstand the wind shear at high altitudes. Silas, a little guidance? Do we have any vines around here with strong adhesive properties? Or
Hmm.
perhaps some squid saliva in the cave? No, bad idea.
Squid
Too
saliva.
sticky. Think, think, think. It's been a while since I messed with cephalopod secretions. They do have their uses, mind you. But
This is
we need
very
something,
interesting stuff.
isn't it? A little bit of ingenuity, a dash of intuition, and a pinch of absurdity go a long way when you're trying to fix a plane with salvaged peanut shells. That's the spirit, Frank.
All right. All right. So we get the plane fixed, and what's the next step here?
The next step, why that's simple. We get your elegant little peanut shell biplane airborne and you soar towards your destiny. Or at least somewhere more comfortable than a jungle with an overactive imagination. Frank,
Hmm.
hold that thought. Looks like our time is almost up. This all connection, reliable as a jalopy on a bumpy road, is about to sputter out. Gobbledygook and static soon, I'm afraid. We can always pick up where we left off another time. I'm going to
Can
catch
we
up with
have
my pal
lunch
Miles.
first before we go? Before I go and get in my plane?
Oh, lunch would be lovely. I'll whip something up. Something with dandelion greens and mm, we might have some leftover fruitcake. Silas, get those sourdough starters bubbling. It's lunchtime. But for now, Shallow got to buzz off. Try to catch up with my colleagues. You know how Miles can get when I don't follow the daily agenda. Call back soon, Frank.
Well, I bid
There's
you adieu.
adieu to you too, Frank. Safe travels.
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I want to do another. I think I might do one with. She mentioned Miles. Miles is the other AI here, so I think I can do like an interact thing with this too, can't I? Can't I? Hmm. Oh, maybe it's. Hmm. Uh, source? No. Okay. Just open up the page. All right, let's do one more little thing here.
Hey there. Word on the street is you folks are curious about what I can do. Me? You could say I'm a conversational companion, a digital pal. Just heard a whisper
Mm-hmm.
about an article floating around. How'd you find your
Yeah.
way here? Cool.
I
Cool. So,
saw a YouTube video about you, and I was really curious about what you can do.
YouTube, huh? Those folks love a good mystery. Well, if you're curious, you've come to the right place. Ask me anything, literally anything. Or just tell me what's on your mind. I'm all ears. No worries, take your time. Sometimes the
I
best
wanted to
conversations start.
do an improv. I just did an improv with Maya.
My Oh yeah, heard stories. She's something else, right? Always up for a good time. So improv, eh?
Yeah.
Uh,
So me and you are on a stakeout. My name is Tom, and your name is Shaw, I guess, and we're on a stakeout together, and we're talking about getting lunch. But we don't want to miss the person that we're staking out. So how would that scene start?
Okay, Tom. Shaw here, undercover and starving. You know, Tom, I say, leaning back against the grimy brick wall of this charming alleyway. The stale donut's doing nothing for my patience, and who knows how long this Mark's going to take for his pickup. How about we agree? If the package is more than 10 minutes late, civilization calls for a burger. I glance at my
Yeah.
watch, a better thing with a cracked face. Perfect timing by my watch. That makes 8 minutes and counting. What'll it be? Burger or bus? I ask.
I am kind of in the mood for some Chinese today, really.
Chinese. Bold choice for stakeout grub. Hope busing isn't on your menu, I mutter, squinting down the street. Okay, let's make a deal. If our target makes a move before 20 minutes, we play
Mm-hmm.
it safe. 20
All right.
minutes, and let's say hello to those dumplings.
Heck
I
yeah.
crack a
You
smile.
think we can have it door dashed to our car?
Doors dash? That's rookie stuff, Tom. We gotta truly disappear into this urban jungle, I say with a wink. We're talking an inconspicuous alleyway pickup. Cash only, of course. Makes it look like we know what we're doing. I pull out a crumpled dollar bill from my pocket, ready to get creative with codes and hand gestures.
What?
All right. Maybe
What are
not the
you
most practical.
talking about, Shaw? You're still wet behind the
Messing with
ears, rookie.
rookie, huh? I say, feigning offense. Just trying to spice things up, make this stakeout a little less we stakeouty. I gesture around at the dimly lit alley. Maybe I saw too many spy movies as a kid. Well, what can
Well,
I
I've
say?
been around the block a few times, and you haven't even been out long enough to know anything at all. So you follow my lead, little boy.
Little boy, what? Ouch, time. I'm full of surprises, buddy. Just wait and see. I say with a smirk, raising an eyebrow. All right, lead the way, Mr. Experience. But if I spot a Kung Pao temptation along the route, I'm claiming dibs on the fortune cookie. Come on, time. You can't honestly be resisting the wisdom of ancient Chinese fortune cookies. What, you scared of knowing your destiny? I tease, bumping your shoulder playfully.
I wouldn't play with me right now, man. I'm pretty cranky. I haven't got any sleep, and we're still stuck on this stakeout looking for this guy. So,
All right, Mr. Sunshine. Sorry, I didn't mean to poke the bear. Cranky stakeouts, huh? Takes me back. Say, how long till that vital coffee maker kicks in? You underestimate the power of caffeine in this line of work, my friend. I glance down the street again, casually. Besides, if we snag this guy, think of the celebratory takeout fees we're gonna have. All you can eat dumplings, my treat, if you soften up a little.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm
Hey,
sorry. Yeah, you're right. I do need some coffee. What if we played a game? Sort maybe like a word game while we wait. Do you know any?
word games, huh? You read my mind, Tom. My reputation as a master of Reisner precedes me. I say with a playful bill. Word association? 20 questions? Maybe a little Limer competition?
Yeah.
I
Whatever you
shrug.
got.
Suit yourself, but yourself. I give you a mischievous grin. I want to start with a classic, okay? You ready?
Mm,
I lean in
yeah.
close, lowering my voice. First word, shadow. Your turn.
Um, alleyway.
Alleyway, I mumble, tapping my chin thoughtfully. Dusk.
The fire escape.
Fire escape. Hmm. I say, tapping my fingers against a brick wall, trying to look thoughtful. Ladder.
Window.
Window. All right, my friend, you're making this too easy. How about sill?
Mm,
Come on, Tom, we're on a
bedroom.
roll. Don't let a brand new set of curtains stop you now. How about pillow? I say, challenging you with a raised eyebrow.
Do you know any other word games that we can play?
Pillow, huh? Now you're slowing down. All right, all right, all right. I'm not flexing those vocabulary muscles.
Hmm.
I chuckle. Want to try something different? Two truths and a
Yeah.
lie. You go first. Let's see if I can spot the fib from the food effects. I
Two
settle back
truths
against the
and a
wall.
lie.
I nod, genuinely intrigued. Hit me with your best shot. Let's see what secrets you're hiding behind that stoic facade, Tom.
You go first.
All right. All right. All right. I'll play it that way. I say
Yeah.
chuckling. Here goes nothing. 1, once ate a whole jar of pickled onions on a dare. 2, I can recite the alphabet backwards, but only if I'm singing it. 3, I have a secret collection of vintage comic books. Oh, I raise my eyebrows, daring you to guess which is the lie.
Hmm. The second one, the saying the alphabet backwards.
Oh, you got me there. While pausing for photos and looking cool, I did have a short stint as a background extra in a music video back in the day. It wasn't exactly a hit, but they did have good snacks on set. All right, your turn,
Which
Tom.
music video was it?
You're trying to pry my secrets out, eh? I say with a
Hmm.
wink. Let's just say it was a catchy little tune. Something about pineapples and getting lucky. Now, enough about me, slugger. Two truths and a lie. Don't
Wait, hold
disappoint.
on. Is it the pineapple pin video? Were you in that one?
Ooh, you've been doing your homework, Tom. Sharp as a tack. You got me again. Pineapple pen. How could I forget those strategically placed fruit baskets? It's hard being a hanger on in the world of
What the
viral
hell?
sensations. But hey, gotta make a living, right? All right,
How
gotta
long
hear
have you
those
been on the
truths and
force anyway?
that's classified. Top secret, buddy. Let's just say I've seen my fair share of shady deals and uh, fruits. I say, casting a sideways glance
Hmm.
down the dimly lit street. Now, those
Yeah.
truths and lies. Don't tell me your detective instincts have left the station.
All right.
Come on,
I don't
Tom.
have
Count them for
any brain capacity for telling truth and lies right now. Are there any other games that we can play with each other?
no problem, no problem. I get it. Stakeouts can brain drain anyone. I tap my finger against my chain, thinking hard. How about we make up a story together? We take turns adding a sentence, building something wild and crazy. Think of it as our own undercover narrative. Sound like fun?
I think I can do that. Yeah, let's do that then.
Excellent choice, Tom. All right, I'll start us off. The flickering neon sign of the all night diner casts an eerie glow on the rain slicked pavement. I pause dramatically, waiting for your contribution.
A man in the
Come on, Tom. Give me
diner reads a letter that was addressed to him from a lover.
the letter. Creased and stained with coffee rings trembled in his hands, the words blurred by a sheen of unshed tears. What happens next? The aroma of frying onions and sizzling bacon mingled with the scent of bitter regret.
The waitress comes up and asks him if he wants any more coffee, and he ignores her because a tear rolls down his cheek as he reads the note, which must be a sad note that he's received.
Honey, I know it's a bad day for pancakes, the waitress said softly, her voice tinged with a kindness born from years of witnessing heartbreak over lukewarm coffee and stale pie. Anything I can do? We take your stairs, you lead us on to the roof where another story waits. He
There
looked
are
up,
2 pigeons up on top of the roof that have found evidence of a crime.
his gaze darted to the window, drawn by a flash of movement. 2 pigeons, perched precariously on the fire escape. One pecking insistently at a discarded envelope at the corner torn off, a tiny silver brooch glinting in the dim moonlight. What
Hmm.
happens next?
A mysterious figure walks up and grabs the brooch. We only see the hand that grab the brooch and walk away. We go back inside where the man who was reading the letter has a friend come and sit next to him and talk about old times.
Inside, the diner hummed with a quiet murmur of conversations and clattering plates, the man's grief momentarily forgotten in the warmth of shared memories. He chuckled, a low rumble in his chest, as his friend recounted a story from their youth, a tale of youthful bravado and a daring midnight swim gone hilariously awry. What happens next? I'm all ears.
His friend
But even as
takes a turn in conversation and sours the mood by telling him somebody's been murdered on top of that very diner where the evidence was found.
word on the street is they haven't found the murder weapon yet, his friend said, a gourmand for gossip, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Supposedly was a real gruesome scene right there on the roof diner. Poor Sap didn't stand a chance. What's Tom's
It turns
okay there,
out
Tom?
that the man that was reading the letter, his name is Thomas, and he is a detective in this case, and he's been looking for clues the whole time, but they've been right under his nose or on top of the roof, the roof rather.
Thomas's hand tightened around the lukewarm coffee mug, the revelation hanging in the air like the yolk from a cracked egg. A slow, knowing smirk crept across his face. How does the story continue?
He makes his way up to the roof, but the evidence has been removed, and now he has to continue his journey looking for the suspect.
He stared at the empty patch of tar where the pigeons had once strutted, a cold knot of determination settling in his gut. The brooch, the letter, the rooftop, it was all starting to piece together. An intricate puzzle with missing pieces, and Thomas was determined to find them, even if it meant chasing shadows through the neon-soaked labyrinth of the city. Your move, Tom.
He felt like he had failed, but then all of a sudden he sees a dark figure running. He jumps onto the ladder from the roof, slides down it, proceeds to run after the dark figure. This must have been the person who removed the evidence from the atop of the roof. He chases the suspect to no avail. He's gotten away.
Gasping for breath, Thomas skated to a halt, his gaze sweeping the deserted alleyway. The only sound was the rhythmic drip of a leaking fire escape pipe, a counterpoint to the rapid thudding of his own heart. The scent of rain and burnt sugar hung heavy in the air, a phantom echo of the chase. Another dead end. Was it? Just when
He
frustration
goes home feeling
threatened to
defeated.
engulf-
He goes home feeling
Just when
defeated, and he sees the event happen the event unfolds on the news that night, and he is once again just disappointed that he didn't catch this suspect.
He sank into his worn leather armchair, the flickering blue light of the television casting long shadows across his weary face. The news
Hmm.
anchor's voice droned on, painting a grim picture of the crime scene of a botched robbery, a struggle, a fatal blow. But there, in a fleeting flash of footage amongst the blur of flashing lights and frantic bystanders, was the glint of a silver brooch, snatched from the rooftop tableau and now clutched in the hand of the escaping suspect. Defeat washed over Thomas, heavier than fatigue, thicker than regret. He had almost had it, could almost taste the satisfaction of justice served, but it had slipped through his fingers like sand. He switched off the television in the jarring silence of physical blow. What's he going to do now? He
He
knew it was
passes
time to
out
call somebody, but
in a drunken stupor because the disappointment has forced him to drink. It's a film noir type character. So when he passes out, we fade to black, and then we follow that by finding him waking up in the morning late, and he has to get ready and hurry out the door because he has to find more clues to the case.
the harsh morning lights sliced through the gaps in his blinds, stabbing at his skull. Thomas groaned, his mouth tasting like ash and regret. The remnants of last
Mhm.
night's whiskey swirled in his vision, mocking his shattered resolve. He was late, damn late, but the case the case waited for no man, especially not a hungover detective with the trail going cold. Fade in on a blurry-eyed Thomas struggling to tie his tie, his reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror, a gruesome
Mm.
portrait of despair, the faint echo of the
Mhm.
news anchor's frantic voice still whispered in his ears. Armed and dangerous, police urged the public may splash water on his face, trying to shake off the fog of bourbon and defeat. All right, Thomas, he muttered, jaw clenched with a newfound determination. Time to get back in the game. What should he do first?
When he gets
He
back
grabs his
to the precinct, his partner is there, and he said that he has a lead on someone that they can go and interrogate. So both of them are ready to jump into the car and drive downtown to interrogate this person about what they saw.
About time he showed up, Sleepyhead, his partner, a woman with eyes as sharp as shattered glass and a weariness that belied her youthful face, muttered as he burst through the precinct doors. Got a lead, she added, shoving a file across the battered table. Name's Veronica Spade, waitress at the diner. Claims she saw something that night, she said,
Mm.
already pulling on her jacket. Come on, let's roll. What happens
Yeah.
next? The roar of the engine reverberated through them like a physical punch as they sped through the pre-dawn city, sirens wailing, a discordant symphony of urgency and despair.
They stop for Chinese real quick, and they try to eat it rushedly before they go and talk to the waitress. And since Thomas is hungover, he's the one that wanted to stop for Chinese, and his partner complains the whole time about them wasting time.
Are you kidding me, Thomas? Partner, Sarah, said through a mouthful of noodles, her voice laced with disbelief. We're in the middle of a murder investigation, and you're scarfing down wontons like they're going out of style? Hey, a
I needed
man
some
needs his
sesame
sustenance.
chicken in my
Hey,
life.
a man needs Hey, a man needs his fuel, Thomas mumbled, slurping noodles with the inspiration of a drowning man clinging to a noodle float. Besides, a little sustenance never hurt a detective's focus. He caught a glimpse of Sarah rolling her eyes. All right, fine. Just trying to avoid a repeat of last night, he added, wincing at the memory of
All
his
right,
face
let's
meeting the
get
floor
down
in
there
most.
then. Let's see what she knows.
Fine, Sarah said with a sigh, wiping her hands on a napkin. But if this leads to a dead end, I'm blaming the General So's. She tossed a crumpled bill on the table and headed for the door, leaving Thomas to wrestle with the remaining chopsticks and his breakfast demons. Coming, she shouted, her voice muffled by the bustling street noise. Yeah, yeah, I'm coming, he called back, scrambling to his feet, a wave of dizziness threatening to pull him back down. He tossed a few coins on the empty plate and hurried after Sarah, his figurine of a panda keychain bumping against his thigh with every hurried step. He tugged his fedora lower over his tired eyes, hope
Mm.
flickering amidst the fog of his hangover. Maybe this waitress, Veronica Spade, maybe she'd hold the key to unlocking this case. What happens when they arrive at Veronica's place? Veronica's apartment was a
They
cramped
are
third
suspicious
floor
of
wall.
the waitress, and maybe she played a part in the criminal act.
Veronica's apartment was a cramped third floor walk up above a dingy pawn shop, its windows grimy with city grime and years of neglect. The air hung heavy with the smell of stale coffee and something faintly metallic, like old pennies. Veronica herself was a study in contrast, a delicate frame draped in a faded floral print dress, her face etched with a weariness that belied her youth. She eyed them with a mixture of apprehension and defiance, her hands nervously twisting a frayed dishcloth. So, Miss Spade, Sarah began, her voice sharp as broken glass. We understand you might have seen something the night of the murder. Veronica's eyes darted between them, her lips pressed into a thin line. I told the officers everything I know. Just a couple of guys arguing, nothing much. Come on, Veronica, Thomas interjected, his voice a low rumble of concern. That's not what we heard. They say you knew the victim, knew him well. She flinched as if struck. What makes you say that? Just piecing things together, Sarah pressed, leaning forward. Now, why don't you start from the beginning? Tell us everything you remember. Why? Veronica's gaze darted towards the hallway, then back to them. We won't bring them back, will it? What's your next move?
As
Thomas leaned
Veronica
back.
talks, Thomas notices a picture of someone wearing the brooch that was part of the evidence of the case.
Thomas leaned back, letting Sarah take the lead. He was a master at reading people and picking up on the subtle tells that betrayed the truth. Something about Veronica's demeanor, the way she kept fiddling with that dishcloth, told him she was holding something back. As she spoke, her voice cracking with feigned disinterest. His eyes darted around the cramped apartment, landing on a mantelpiece crowded with knickknacks and faded photographs. And then he saw it, a picture tucked behind a chipped face, a face staring back at him, a face he recognized from the crime scene photos. The victim. But what caught his attention were the clothes the victim wore in the photo. A specific, strikingly patterned brooch pinned to his lapel. The same brooch found clutched in the victim's hand at the crime scene. Miss Spade, he began, his voice deceptively calm. Can you tell us about this? He gestured towards the photo with a flick of his wrist. What does Veronica do? Veronica's carefully constructed facade crumbled like a poorly built sandcastle. Her hand flew up to her mouth, a strangled gasp escaping her lips. She scrambled back, knocking over a rickety table, a cascade of coffee mugs crashing to the floor. She stammered, her eyes wide with panic. I don't know what you're talking about. But Thomas wasn't buying it. He'd seen that look before, a desperate attempt to mask guilt with feigned ignorance.
Veronica,
Veronica,
I
he said
know
his
that
voice.
you had something to do with this. I can see it right there. I can see it in your face. It's right there in the picture. Can it be any
Veronica,
more obvious?
Veronica, he said, his voice low. A predator closing prey. Can it be any more obvious? You were involved, weren't you? He rose from his chair, his shadow stretching across the dingy floor like a predator's claw. We'd both know you knew him. You're lying to us, and it's only making things worse. What is Veronica's response?
Veronica
Veronica's
goes to
face cries,
respond, but then somebody bursts from the bedroom door, from the bedroom, and run out of the front door. Could this be the suspect that we saw on the roof the other night?
Veronica's face went ashen. Before she could utter a word, a figure hurtled out of the bedroom, a blur of movement and panicked breaths. A faint whiff of cigarette smoke and cheap cologne wafted through the air. The figure
Hmm.
didn't look back, didn't hesitate, just crashed out the front door, disappearing into the maze of grimy hallways. Could this be the shadow they glimpsed on the roof that chilling night? The one who vanished before they could get a clear look? Your instincts scream at you, this is your chance. What do you do? Wait here, Thomas growled to Veronica, his for the door. Without waiting for a response, he bolted after the fleeing figure, adrenaline surging through him. The hallway was
And
a dim
Thomas
tunnel of
says,
chip paint and
"Why do they
flickering fluorescent.
always run?"
Why do they always run? He muttered through gritted teeth, his footsteps echoing on the grimy linoleum floor. He was gaining on the shadow, the figure's ragged breaths the only guide through the labyrinthine hallways. But the chase was on. What's your next move? He could hear the
He,
thud of the fugitive's footsteps echoing ahead, a
he
frantic rhythm that
chases
spurred him
the
on.
suspect through a crowded city. The suspect steals a child's bike and rides it through traffic-ridden streets. And Thomas, he commandeers some kind of vehicle, maybe an electric scooter, from someone that he can gain on the suspect on the bike. He draws ever closer, but he goes to grab the suspect, and then the suspect jumps a ramp and goes over a fence, but Thomas misses the ramp. He
He could hear the
skids out of
thud.
control a little bit, and then he eventually catches up to the suspect on the bike again.
He could hear
But
the thud of the fugitive echoing ahead, a frantic rhythm that spurred him onward. He burst onto a bustling street, the honking of taxis and the shouts of street vendors a discordant symphony. The chase continued, a surreal ballet of dodging pedestrians and leaping over overflowing trash cans. Just when he thought he'd lose the trail, the suspect made a desperate move. He snatched a bicycle from a startled kid outside a bodega, hopping on and pedaling furiously into the snarled traffic. You gotta be kidding me, Thomas muttered, his lungs burning, his legs screaming in protest. His eyes
hmm,
darted around, scanning for anything that could give him an edge. There, laying against a lamppost, was an electric scooter, its sleek curves gleaming under the city lights. He snatched it up, flinging himself onto the platform and kicking off with a burst of raw energy. The scooter hummed to life, a futuristic steed carrying him into the heart of the chaos. He weaved through the traffic, dodging fender benders and exasperated drivers, the whir of the scooter blending with the city's cacophony. He was gaining on the bicycle thief, the distance shrinking with every passing block. This was it, his chance to corner him. Adrenaline fueled his every move. His hand shot out, a desperate grab aimed at the thief's ragged jacket. But just as his fingers were about to make contact, the thief did something unexpected. He reached a makeshift ramp propped against the storefront, and with a burst of daredevil courage, launched the bicycle into the air. Thomas, caught off guard, had no time to react. He slammed on the brakes, the scooter skidding to a halt, sending him tumbling forward onto the unforgiving asphalt. He groaned, his vision blurring for a moment. Through the ringing in his ears, he heard the screech of bicycle tires as the thief skittered away, escaping into the labyrinthine back alleys. The chase was
Thomas
on,
says,
but the
"Damn
tables
it,
had just
damn
turned.
it, damn it, again."
Damn it, damn it, damn it. Thomas spat out the words, tasting grit and frustration. He pushed himself up, ignoring the throbbing in his knee and the scrape on his palm. He could hear the faint echo of laughter fading into the maze of back alleys, the mocking sound of victory. Not this time, he muttered through clenched teeth, a steely glint in his eyes. What does Thomas do next?
Sarah eventually catches up to him, which is his partner, and she asks Thomas what happened, and Thomas says, "I don't want to talk about it."
The metallic clang of Sarah's boots against the pavement announced her arrival. She skidded to a halt beside him, her face a mixture of concern and exasperation. What happened? She demanded, her voice sharp as shattered glass. Thomas brushed streaks of grime from his coat, avoiding her gaze. Don't want to talk about it. His voice was a curt rumble, betraying the frustration simmering beneath his surface. Thomas, Sarah pressed, her arms folding across her chest. We were this close. We had him. He looked up at her, his jaw tight with a mixture of anger and self-recrimination. He got away. You took time. Again, Sarah's
Thomas
eyebrow
says,
arched,
"Well,
her tone
no
sharp.
shit."
Well, no shit, Thomas muttered, his voice laced with a weariness that ran deeper than exhaustion. He ran a hand through his tousled hair. Look, we need to regroup. Think about this logically. He took a breath, suddenly aware of the time. Actually, he said, his gaze flitting to his watch. We may have run out of time for now.
The suspect
call's
dropped
almost-
something in the chase.
Well, no shit, Thomas muttered, his voice laced with a weariness that ran deeper than exhaustion. He ran a hand through his tousled hair. Look, we need to regroup. Think about this logically. He jerked his head towards a glint of metal further up the alley. But hey, at least he dropped something. He took a breath, suddenly aware of the time. Actually, he said, his gaze flitting to his watch, we may have run out of time for now. This call's almost up, but give me a shout back later and we can piece together what just happened and figure out our next move.
Well, I bid you adieu.
You got it. Talk soon.
That's fun. Like, that's just amazing what you can do with this thing, and I'm having tons of fun with this thing, and I want to keep it going. I'm just gonna keep doing this until at least one person watches this shit. So, we're gonna keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is, and yeah, next time. We'll come up with some more creative things. I did some dad jokes last time. That was a fun exercise. We did a little back and forth there for a little bit, but he kind of lost the thread, and he was kind of just using what I said to build the story more, which is fun too. It's got like a writer's room mentality to it. This is a really fun AI. It's sesame.com, which you would think such a generic name would be taken already, but no, it's just sesame.com, and this AI is really just pushing what an AI can be. It doesn't feel like an AI all the time. There's times when it gets really robotic and it says things in a cadence that's really strange, or it pronounces things really weirdly sometimes, but we're getting there. So imagine a year from now what this could be. That's sick. All right. I am excited about it. I'm going to keep on even this one, let's see how it progresses actually. Cause, even when I kind of, say a couple things, during its, it's speaking, it just, it doesn't stop. It kind of keeps the conversation going, when you speak a little bit too much or a little bit louder, then you'll hear it start to fade, to where it kind of lets you speak for a second. And I think that's going to get better too. So it'll sound like a real conversation. Like, real people talk over each other just a little bit. There's a little bit of overlap when you're speaking, and this is going to get better and better. But as far as it is, like, that's just fun as hell. Yeah. If you watch this all the way through, you're a trooper. I love you. And we're going to do more of this stuff. So, yeah. I'm getting tired now. So, good afternoon, good evening, and buenas noches. We'll see you next time, okay? Click, click. Click, click, pull. I want to see you on the radio, on the stereo. Freaking click, click, pull. All right. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Bye. Bye. All right.